Hello, everybody. Even though you probably don't want to be back here after what happened last episode, welcome to Chaos Head Noah. Well, we have got ourselves a rescue quest. Unwillingly, I might add. Shogun has sort of got us by the short and curlies here. Shogun's sort of been running the show since Chapter 1, so I'm kind of curious when we're going to start being a little more proactive, or know what the hell is going on. Because so far all our protag's been good for has been running around and crying. I imagine getting our sword is going to help, but who knows when that's going to happen. In the meantime, we are still playing Shogun's game. We are to be on a rooftop at midnight or some such. And we don't have a whole lot of choice in the matter, because Shogun has apparently taken Nanami hostage, or at least most of her, because as evidence of his intentions, he has mailed us her hand, complete with phone and Garo Froggy and Bangle. So she's going to want that back. But yeah, we have packed up our Seratan figure and made our way to where we need to be going, and who the hell knows what's going to happen. We still don't know what Shogun's objective is here. We don't know what Shogun has to do with Nozomi, or what connection he might have with them, or what else the hell is going on. Like I said, we're just kind of along for the ride here until we start making some actual, moves of our own. When will that happen? Well, let's find out. Step 1, save the little sister. Let's go. And here we are where we left off. We forcefully shoved our Seratan figure into the inner pocket of our uniform. You know it's serious when we're bringing the figure with us. We have never brought the Seratan figure with us, but she is now in the party. I'm not sure what role she's got, probably moral support, but even at the end of the last episode, she was just like, fuck, I don't even know. Sorry, Taki, you got me. I'm out. Nah, you're in. You're in the bag. You're coming. We have to save Nanami. We hate her, but she's our little sister. We brought Seratan as a good luck charm. Watch Seratan deflect a bullet or something. That's not going to happen. It's resin. In a normal situation, I would never get caught dead carrying around a figure because it could get damaged, obviously. I'm not worried about being embarrassed. I'm worried about being, less than mint. Destroying your precious waifu was the most horrible thing an otaku could do. You can buy another one, my guy. But right now, I couldn't bring myself to abide by my usual policies. I needed the emotional support above all else. Yes, exactly. Remy has not actually come back either. We did get a glimpse of her. She's not dead. But she's also not with our boy. So I'm not sure why she's not coming to save us this time. And on top of that, I might not live to see another day anyway. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen here. I took one last glance at Seratan. Her head was sticking out of my pocket. And by doing so, I managed to hold back the tears that were on the verge of flowing out. Suddenly, someone bumped into me from behind, making me stumble. I turned around to see some DQN staring at me with an annoyed look, and yet, much to my surprise, he didn't say anything. He simply vanished into the crowd. I looked around. I was at Scramble Crossing, clearly. The crowd was so huge it was hard to believe it was 9 p.m. on a weekday, not to mention the very same day an earthquake had killed 100 people. Yeah, there's manipulation going on here. Again, I don't know who's doing what or how. We did get a little bit of insight into that mind control stuff, but we still don't know the objective. I felt like I was suffocating waiting for the pedestrian signal. People were surrounding me from every direction. And for some reason I wasn't aware of, the media was flooding in too. Yeah, this is a huge setup. What the hell is going to happen here? People with huge TV cameras were forcing themselves onto the road, halting traffic. The flashes coming from them every couple seconds nearly blinded me. I guess Shogun did say we were going to be on TV. He clearly knew something. A group of people who were likely reporters were giving passionate speeches to their respective cameras. Were they tipped off in some way? A few policemen were attempting to shoo away the mass media and pedestrians standing in the road, but gaining back control of the situation seemed pretty much impossible. It was like a paradise for police without cars. Were they holding some kind of event? Why this late? Why today? Considering 100 people had died, this was definitely in bad taste. Did they have any kind of respect? If there was an event, it was crazy that even the mass media was joining in on the insanity. Japan was over. Man, not that it mattered to me. We have to save her. The rest of her. We saved part of her. The place Shogun had told me to go was O-Front, a building which sat right in front of Scramble Crossing. The one with the Tatsuya and Star Bricks located inside of it. The Star Bricks. Anyone want to go to the Star Bricks for an espresso? I really didn't want to come alone, but I couldn't get in touch with Rimi no matter how many times I tried. Again, what's up with that? What's she up to? And the police were probably still mistaking me for the new gen culprit, so I couldn't go to them. But the time Shogun had set was getting closer and closer, and I was worried about Nanami. I was too worried about Nanami to stay home, so I had no choice but to go there while holding on to Saratan. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of options here. I carved a path through the sea of people, and somehow managed to get inside O-Front. Unfortunately for me, it was pretty crowded inside, too, but I didn't even have the strength to be upset about it. The only thing on my mind were my prayers for Nanami's safety. I took the escalator that led to the upper floors. Using one of the windows inside the Star Bricks, I was able to look down towards Scramble Crossing. Now that I was looking at it from above, it was even more crowded than I'd thought. And they weren't just standing there either. Some were waving, some were jumping, some were doing both. Countless dark heads bobbing up and down. And probably a few guys with rucksacks out there too. It was even more blinding now than it was when I was down there. It felt like all the lights were pointed at me. With each new floor the escalator brought me to, my heartbeat got faster and faster. What are we walking into? I took out my phone to check the time. There was 1 minute left before 9 p.m., the time he'd said. Okay, so it wasn't midnight, it was 9 p.m. The thought of Shogun killing Nanami out of anger, it terrified me so much that I started sprinting up the steps of the escalator, pushing aside anyone in my way. I changed to an elevator to access the top floor. I didn't know how to get on the rooftop after that, but as I wandered around, I spotted an emergency staircase. I was about to say, I'm not sure the public can get on the roof, so what's the plan here? I guess he would have made sure the way was unlocked. No one stopped me as I shot through it, and I successfully made my way to the rooftop. What are we going to find? So far, nothing. A strong wind was blowing. Considering it was the end of October, it was weirdly lukewarm outside. It took a minute, but I soon realized it wasn't a natural breeze, but one blown by the outdoor AC unit. I buttoned the front button of my uniform so that Saratan wouldn't fall out. Priorities. Thanks, bunches, you big dum-dum! Moral support. You're welcome. I felt a slight sense of relief when I heard Saratan's voice in my head. Saratan was with me, so there was nothing to be afraid of, for sure. I desperately tried to convince myself of that. Before that moment, I had yet to realize how dark it was. The only source of light was from the back of the lit O-Front sign. Ironically, the neon lights from the surrounding buildings were too bright for me to see anything. If someone was hiding in the shadows, I would have been incapable of seeing them. Well, there's... Oh! We're late? We're going to be like 1 minute late. That sounded like a voice synthesizer. You're late. My heartbeat, which had started to finally calm down, skyrocketed once again after hearing those words break the silence. I looked all around me, but I was unable to figure out what direction the voice had come from. Uh-oh. And then I heard a sound. A squeaking sound that I'd heard several times before. How did you use the stairs, good sir? This time I deliberately focused my gaze into the rampant darkness. There, I spotted the glow, the backlit outline of a wheelchair's wheels. Huh? Yes, Shogun. Yeah, that sounds a little synthesized. Welcome, Takumi-kun. He was talking to me like he knew me, like we were friends. It felt so wrong. Goosebumps sprang up on my skin. I didn't want to talk to him. I was too scared. I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. Okay, then let's hightail it out of here. Saratan, looking out for her own survival. At this rate, Taki, you're going to get killed. Moral support. But Nanami was... You really are a brave guy. You came here alone, just like I told you to. You've definitely got my thanks there. Wait a minute, something was off about him. He was different from before. Yeah, his voice. Something was off about his voice. That voice. A voice is just vibrations moving through the air. Alright, you downloaded voice mod, good for you. The way it sounds depends on the conditions around it. Aren't I correct? What was going on? His voice kept changing. We've alluded to this in the past as well, talking about voices over cell phones. But what's the end game here? Why is he doing this? He talked to us normally before. Was he using some kind of voice changer? Did he want to hide who he was by disguising his voice? Why now then? Why hadn't he before? Well, because this is going to be televised, and that's different. That aside, though, I wasn't following what he was saying. Taki, don't let him confuse ya! Don't let your guard down! No trusting anything anyone says! You're right, you're completely right, Saratan. Saratan always spoke nothing but the truth. I tightly squeezed Saratan's body through my clothes. Where's Nanami? It felt like my heart was about to burst from the fear. Even still, I desperately forced out my voice. I thought stuff like this only happened in TV and video games. Is Nanami already dead? Nope. Yeah, no! He chopped off her whole hand, don't you remember? Even if she was alive, it wouldn't change the fact that she'd be bound to bleed to death. Well, we'll see. Tears began to flow. Nanami's sulking face appeared in my mind. Honestly, she was a brat, a really annoying one. And yet, despite that, I was so sad. Sad enough for tears to flow. Nanami's my little sister, my precious little... Why did you kill her? That's horrible. Do you think she's dead? Did you ever consider that the hand I sent to your place was someone else's? I actually wonder this. I didn't mention this at the beginning. The bangle around the hand that we got was much... There wasn't as much room around the wrist as there was in the shot of Nanami wearing it. It seemed like someone with a wider wrist than Nanami's. So maybe it's Nanami's wrist, maybe it's not, but I suspected the possibility that it wasn't. Huh? What I'm saying is, even though the phone and the bangle are Nanami-chan's, the hand may belong to someone else. See there. Nanami was alive? I told you not to trust him. Just don't listen. See, there's a fair amount of give in the bangle if you look at her wrist there. Okay, they're not going to show the one we got. If you successfully complete the quest, I'll return Nanami-chan to you. No questions asked. Alive, of course. Quest. Shogun had used that word again. Did he want me to think of this like a game? But the real me wasn't a hero. He wasn't anything like one. However, if you aren't able to complete it, Nanami-chan won't be coming back. Suddenly, Shogun's voice became cold as ice. Getting scared of some old guy like this was pathetic, but this man wasn't normal. This man was the new-gen culprit. I'm sure I don't need to explain what'll happen if you disappoint me, so don't let me down now. You can do it. Why? Why me? Can't you pick someone else? It has to be you. But why? You are the chosen one. Oh, God. That's going to go to his head. We're in one of those kind of animes, are we? I was the chosen one? Oh, watch Shogun be a delusion that Takumi created just so he could be a hero, just like Remy was a delusion so that he could have a friend. So Takumi is indirectly responsible for all of this just because of his selfish, I want to be the chosen one. I want to act out what I see in my animes. I want to be the hero. Subconsciously. Don't get the wrong idea, Taki. When he says chosen, he's talking about how you're the next victim he chose. The tragic end of all the new gen victims flashed through my mind, sending shivers down my spine. Don't you remember what happened at noon today? I'm sure you do. At noon? Today is still the day of the earthquake, right? At school, you saved Kishimoto Ayase. Shogun had also mentioned Ayase's suicide attempt in the email. He must have been observing the whole debacle from somewhere. Or maybe he'd been mind-controlling Ayase. Maybe he was the reason she'd try to kill herself. That's what I was speculating, because her inner monologue when she was up there was very bizarre. Thanks to that flower bed, Kishimoto Ayase survived. Do I have that right? Shogun knew about my power. Making flower beds. Back at school, no one had even questioned the existence of the flower bed. The only one that had was Senna, and then she'd gone on to accuse me. You had a delusion of it, didn't you? Taki, deny everything Shogun's saying to you. Go on, give it everything you got. If Shogun is an alternate personality of yours, you're not going to be able to lie to him very well. Maybe the entire reason why Shogun was following me around, why he was trying to kill me, was because I had powers. If I claimed that I didn't have any powers, maybe he left me off the hook. I don't have any powers. Powers? I don't recall saying anything about powers. Well, you fucked that one up, buddy. You don't have any powers, Taki. You're just an otaku freak. You don't have what it takes to be a hero. You're just a harmless shut-in that likes to fap over me all the time. Ain't that right? Moral support, everyone. Good job. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Saratan. The idea that I had actual real-life powers was nothing more than chuny bullshit I dreamt up. I'd almost been convinced by what Senna and Ayase had told me. But those two were raging mental cases. They weren't right in the head. Unlike me, and I wouldn't be much better if I actually just believed them without a second thought. Even Remy had said it was delusional. Would you mind explaining what you meant by that? And I'd like to hear about that flower bed, too. I don't know what you're talking about. What flower bed? Do you have any proof that I did that? That's ridiculous. I could never make a flower bed appear out of thin air like that. So the flower bed appeared out of thin air. Our boy has a big mouth. But everyone I spoke to said that there's always been a flower bed there. You're the only one that says the flower bed wasn't there from the get-go. No one else perceives that in the same way you do. Well, I just dug my grave even deeper. What kind of monster was this guy? When he mentioned that he'd talked to everyone, did that mean he'd physically gone to my school and talked to the people there? He could just be bluffing. But our boy's gonna fall for it, so... I don't have any powers. I don't even know how the hell I did it. And yet, you did. Your delusion became reality. Is this guy from the Church of the Divine Light or whatever? Don't let him fool ya! Thanks, Sarah. She's so disapproving here. Taki, do you really think you have some silly old powers? This ain't some anime world. That's where I'm from. You live in reality, adult. Can you prove that the flower bed and the two Ayasachis were real? You can't, can you? Did you touch one of the Ayasachi when she split herself in two? Well, no. So it's probably an illusion, righto? You were probably just scared of being chased by Yuichi and the police, so you started seeing weird stuff. Then what about the flower bed? It's the same thingy. The flower bed was there from the start. You were all dizzy when you went there to try and find Rimichi. And you only checked if the flower bed was there after Aya said she fell, right? I hope I'm saying these nicknames right. If no one's questioning the flower bed appearing out of thin air, it means that's because it was there from the beginning. Ain't that right? Infallible logic. You just made a little boo-boo, Taki. So don't you dare let Shogun fool you with his lies. The flower bed was there from the beginning. I mean, it's kind of true that you don't know the layout of your own school. The only thing you know is the path in and out. You could fall for it. I repeated what Saratan had said. Of course, Senna didn't perceive the flower bed either. At first, I assumed it wasn't there, but I was wrong. It was just a delusion inside my head. After all, everyone else said a flower bed was there, right? It wasn't me using some powers or anything crazy like that. I just made a mistake. That's all. No, I know you have powers. And you know it too, don't you? I don't want to die. And you know it, don't you? I don't know. Please don't kill me. If only you knew how much power you have. You have a gift. I sense great potential within you. You have the power to change the world. In other words, Chuny bullshit. I wanted to go home. I wanted to hole up inside my base and play ESO forever, glued to a chair for eternity like a disabled person. I wanted to spend my days grinning over Saratan's figure and marathoning Blood Toot on loop. That was all I wished for. Taki, you gotta get out of here. I promise I'll stay by your side forever, but we need to leave or we're hard fucked. I'm the only one who stands up for you. So come on, let's just go home already. We'll sever your link to 3D forever and live only for the fun stuff. We're gonna weld that crate door shut. Now, that's enough introductions. It's time for your quest to begin. First, I want you to move to a spot where you can observe the scramble crossing below. Run away! At this rate, he really is gonna kill you. Did you not hear me? Move to a spot where you can gaze down at the scramble crossing. His tone was soft, yet his voice was unbelievably cold. His voice was so sharp, any will I had left to defy him was sapped away. What are you? My legs were shaking and they refused to move. I wrapped my arms around myself. I'd even lost the ability to discern whether I should listen to his order or not. Are you defying me? If you don't obey me, I can't guarantee Nanami-chan's survival. She's already dead anyway! You'll just end up dying for nothing too if you keep trying to save her. Am I going to end up with a delusion choice at some point here? I want to hear her voice. I managed to squeeze that out, my voice small as could be. However, Shogun rejected my request in an instant. That won't be happening. You should really consider the position you're in. Ugh. I didn't want to think about Nanami's death. I didn't want to imagine her dying. I was too afraid that if I imagined it, it would become real. In the end, I relented. I started walking to a spot where I could look down at Scramble Crossing like Shogun had ordered me to. I could barely see where I was going. If I wasn't careful, I could easily trip and fall. On the side of the rooftop facing Scramble Crossing, a transparent acrylic plate protruded out and up like a wall. It was about 3 stories high. As I approached the wall, I could hear the tumult of the crossing below. A single woman's voice caught my ear. It seemed like it was coming from the Jumbotron mounted on a neighboring building. Do you see the broken part of the acrylic plate wall, where the hole is? I wiped away the cold sweat on my forehead, and then moving only my eyes, I looked toward the wall. Just as Shogun has said, there was a hole where a single person could pass through. It had an unnatural shape to it, like it had been smashed open. It had clearly been destroyed by human hands. Of course, there was nothing beyond the hole, only a sheer 8-story drop leading straight down to the concrete below. Take a step out there and greet the spectators below. Excuse me? What did he just said? Shall I repeat myself? I want you to lean out of that hole and then greet the people below. He couldn't mean... See? He wants to kill you, Taki. 100%. I gulped. Was this how he'd gotten the 5 people to jump off? It really was exactly as Saratan had said. There was no way out of it. I was gonna die. He was gonna make me jump down from here and die. I can't. If you refuse, Nanami-chan dies. But if you obey him, you die, Taki. Again, I'm amazed I haven't seen a choice come up for me to pick one way or the other here. This game has been giving me delusion choices all the way through, and now I'm just like, literally 2 people arguing with me over what I should be doing, and I'm like, I haven't got a choice. What the hell was I supposed to do? I tried to figure out the best course of action, but the only things circling my mind were the most negative delusions possible. I was unable to think straight. Someone save me. Remy, to the rescue? Oni baka, you jerk. I could hear Nanami's voice echoing within my panic-stricken ears. Yeah, that. Memories of Nanami smiling happily resurfaced in my mind. She looked so carefree. It was all my fault. Nanami had nothing to do with any of this, but because of me, she'd gotten kidnapped by Shogun, and then he'd cut off her hand. I'm sorry, Nanami. I'm so sorry. I wiped away my tears, but that didn't stop them. I wiped once again. Then, with my vision still blurry, I slowly approached the smashed hole. And then, more afraid than I'd ever been before, I looked down. That is way high upsies. Suddenly a huge cheer, akin to the rumbling of the very earth itself, came from the people below. What the hell? A large crowd was gathered in front of the station. The media was there too. They were all there for an event that was about to unfold. And the event is me. Suddenly a blinding light hit me. I squinted reflexively and looked away. Then, when my eyes landed upon the jumbotron of the closest building, what I saw was unmistakably, it's either going to be us or Nanami. Oh, it's us. Me. There I am. Hi, me. Huh? Me? I'm the event? Wait a minute, that's the jumbotron on the O-front building. We're on the O-front building. How are we supposed to be seeing that? On the jumbotron was my own face covered in tears, and with my mouth hanging half open like an idiot. My back was hunched too. For a split second I thought I was hallucinating. A chill ran through me, as I thought that someone was secretly recording me somewhere. Not very secret. I then considered if what was being projected there was actually images taken from my thoughts by Shogun. Maybe there's just a camera on you. Yeah, it's a live feed, derp-a-derp. But after exhausting every last possible option, I realized that it had to be a live feed of me, right at this very moment at this place. And the video playing on the jumbotron even had a news ticker featuring sensational taglines. Oh, I want to see these. There's no ticker. You liar. Oh, here we go. Live from the Shibuya Station Plaza, the amazing Esper Boy finally makes his debut. The ticker commentating the situation was situated along the bottom of the screen. The amazing Esper Boy, endorsed by the psychic of the century, Yuri Brightman, appears. Don't miss this one. We mentioned Yuri Brightman earlier during a little conversation with Ban and Sua. Will he divine the new gen perpetrator's true identity? After reading it, I finally understood. I finally understood what the media and the spectators on the scramble crossing below were looking at. It was me. Don't look at me. This is the epitome of looking at me, and I'm not cool with it. Also, there's the delusion. Why were they fixated on me? Esper boy? What the hell was that all about? Did any of them have any idea what had happened today? We'd gotten hit by a damn earthquake. A seismic intensity 5 one. Over 100 fucking people had died. So why were each and every one of them... Why were they waiting there just to see an otaku freak like me make an ass of himself? Man, those guys with the rucksacks have been busy. Oh, damn. We are being colossally fucked with here. This is setting new standards for the fucking of. Like, whose eyes are those eyes? Whose eyes are those eyes? Whose eyes are those eyes? The hell? It sounded like fans cheering from the bleachers at a soccer game or maybe a volleyball game. The entirety of the DQNs who had gathered in Scrabble Crossing had all begun chanting in unison. Maybe this was a planned part of the event, or maybe Shogun had mind-controlled them into doing it. I mean, somebody has. They all followed the same rhythm as they raised their hands overhead and shouted the same words. They were all insane. I was horrified. The chant wasn't stopping. In the midst of their chant, I could hear the high-pitched voices of the female DQNs. Yeah, that. We love you! The hell? As I listened closely, I noticed the one thing they all had in common. They were all making fun of me. Are they? It's tough to tell. To them, they were just having fun and laughing to their heart's content. Everything was fine, as long as they were having fun. A festival dedicated to my sacrifice. A true shit show. All I wanted to do was join in, make fun of myself the way everyone else was. Every last one of them was a DQN. Nobody would be coming to my rescue. Where's Remy? Everyone who'd come here wished for my death. Crowd psychology was going to kill me. Not out of hatred or fury, but simply because that was what everyone else wanted to see. That got quiet quick. No, no, no. No, I don't want to die. I was scared, this close to pissing myself. I had never felt so close to death before. It felt like my consciousness was drifting away. And now I was like a child throwing a tantrum. Please! I don't want to go. I started to cry. What's the next step on my quest? This quest giver sucks. I hoped that by doing so, Shogun would let me go. I hoped that by doing so, the crowd below would maybe feel sympathy for me and come save me. I hoped that by doing so, the police would realize I wasn't the culprit, just an innocent otaku freak, and that they would come save me. I think you're setting your expectations here a bit high on all fronts. I hoped that by doing so, my parents, who would be watching TV at home, would come and take my place. I hoped that by doing so, Remy maybe would come rushing in to save me. Now, Remy ain't doing shit, and I don't know why. I hoped that by doing so, I would suddenly wake up and realize it was all a dream. With this myriad of hopes in my mind, I shook my head desperately, and then I cried out my soul wish. I don't want to die. And yet, if you take one more step back, Nanami-chan dies. Shogun's tone hadn't changed at all from before. You're already standing on the stage. This is the perfect place for your awakening, don't you think? Is he trying to help us get a sword? Like, what is going on here? Everyone who's gathered here is waiting for you. Awakening. What is this, Persona? If you disappoint them, they may turn into an angry mob and chase after you. When he said that, I froze, unable to take a step back nor look behind me. Ah, quit your worrying! He's just trying to scare you. Nanami, she's already dead, Taki. Running away right now won't make you a bad person, I promise. Even if that was true, I want you to focus on the scenery standing before you. Shogun's voice was very calm, which somehow only made him all the more intimidating. I couldn't even find it in me to say anything back. There's only one task you have to do. Jump. No, I can't jump. Oh, he heard me. Uh-oh, he heard me. No one said anything about doing that. Well, Psy'Min said that. Huh? Was I wrong? Then did that mean I didn't have to die? Without moving an inch from that spot, I want you to find your D-sword for me. Well, find my D-sword. How? I've been searching for it as hard as I could for a long time, but I'd never even gotten close. It was completely absurd to think I could suddenly find it here just because he'd ordered me to. A D-sword can be referred to as a delusionary sword. Do you understand that much? No. No, I don't. Don't let him fool you, Taki. D-swords aren't real. A delusion becoming reality is just plain stupid. There needs to be some support character in some anime who's actually a tropey support character but talks like Saratan and is just constantly berating you. It'd be hilarious. I'll never find one. Before you came here today, you'd already run into several others who had swords. Isn't that right? Well, at least 3. Surely they told you how to get your hands on one. Well, Orihara wasn't much help, but the other 2 were. Remember what they said. This sword is that which bends fate to its will. This sword is that which converges all sorrows. This is not helpful. This sword is that which interferes with the transcendental planes. Yes, okay. It is akin to another space. Another possibility within the same dimension. But can it see why kids like Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Come on, none of this is helpful. Ayase, speak English. Or perhaps a delusion. Or just speak Japanese, please. Wasn't that one of our tips in Japanese, please? Ayase, in Japanese, please. Stating it that way does not provide much in the way of meaning. The sole thing we can know for certain, however, is that this sword exists within that region. It was there before I knew it. At first I did not perceive it. But when I ever so slightly altered my perspective, it all became clear. Perhaps it is already visible to you, Takumi. You just aren't seeing it. So the last bit there made sense, but I'm trying to think about how that applies to where we are now. Doubt the world. Study its mechanisms. Is the scenery your eyes perceive truly real? It's possible to turn delusions into reality. Objects that aren't real blend into the scenery around us. In other words, it allows errors to be perceived as real. Okay, I'm looking at... Whoa, wait a minute. Was that there before? Okay, I found my D-sword. Are we done? It's there. It's right there. I'm not sure if that was blending into anything or if it was there before and I just wasn't paying attention because I hadn't gotten the verbal cues yet, but, well, there it is. That's right. You already have a number of hints. You already have a number of hints. Also, it's directly in front of you. It should already be visible to you. Within the scenery that stretches right before your very eyes. So what he was saying was, Shogun was hiding a D-sword somewhere in the scenery I was looking at, and I just had to find it. Did he put it there? And if he put it there, why did he put it here? Couldn't he have just put it in the box that he sent us? Instead of someone's hand? If I find it, will you let me go? Finding it isn't the only thing you have to do to complete the quest. You need to actually grasp the sword. Just make sure that you follow the rules. You can't move a single inch from that spot. Yeah, how are we supposed to reach that exactly? There's no way I could do that. I guess we could technically grab... Have you guys ever played Subliminal? I think that's the name of that puzzle game where you can change the size of things with your perspective by picking them up and putting them down and seeing them off in the distance and grabbing them or whatever. We're playing Subliminal right now. We just got to reach out and grab the sword. If I couldn't move from here, how was I supposed to grasp the fucking sword? What the hell did he even want me to do? Grasp the fucking sword. I'm telling you, he asks for the impossible because he wants you dead as a doornail, Taki. If you're unable to do that, Nanami-chan's life will be forfeit. Let's run on home, okay, Taki? To hell with Nanami. But he just said that if I move one step from here, Nanami will die. I've told you 1,000 times. Nanamichi's long gone. Are we going to trust Saratan anymore after this, considering all the bad advice she's giving us? We're going to grab that sword and be like, oh, okay. Sarah, I expect an apology after this. But he said that I could save her. Are you really believing what he's saying? What if he's lying? I strained my eyes. The bright lights from below made it hard to see much of the scenery at all. The farther away it was, the harder it was to see. I mean, the sword is right there. It's there. It's over there. You can see it. It's a sword. It's there. You can grab it. You can take it. Just look at it. It's over there. I was trying as hard as I could to look around. Was it actually there before, or did it just get thrown in there afterwards to mess with me? But the scenery I could see from here wasn't all that vast. Most of it was hidden behind buildings. We're playing the world's worst hidden object game. But I had to find my sword. Also, who put it up here? Again, if it's Shogun, you're a dick. It just ain't possible. What the hell was I supposed to do? I thought about what Ayase and Senna had said once more. But when I ever so slightly altered my perspective, it all became clear. Objects that aren't real blend into the scenery around us. I mean, I can see it just fine, and when I thought about that, for some reason, I recalled the pattern of the ceiling in my parents' house. Back when I was a kid, I remember having random thoughts about it before I'd gone to sleep. To me, the grain of the wood on the ceiling, it looked somewhat like a face. Oh, is that the eyes? You hallucinated the eyes of those eyes. And once I'd seen it that way, I could no longer see it as anything else. Suggestion at work, I love it. Whose eyes are those eyes? Oh, it's the wood grain. Oh, get real! It's just your eyes playing tricks on you. Optical illusions and all that stuff. There's all sorts of stuff like that with wood. She was right. This didn't really compare to wood patterns, did it? Cut it free. Shogun murmured, his tone as detached as ever. If you can see the sword, all you have to do is cut it free. I know you can do it. Okay, that's total nonsense. He's just saying random stuff. It's possible to turn delusions into reality. This is going on for quite a while, considering that we can see the sword now. Are we going to move slightly to the left and we'll see it get a little wider because our perspective's changing? Just like that flower bed? Just like what Ayase had divided herself in two? But the last time I tried to materialize a real D-sword, I tried using a delusion on the fake one, and it didn't work. I shook my head once more, then scanned the scenery visible to me from here. Yes, yes, hello, sword, right there. Oh, what the hell? Am I getting yes-no prompts now? I mean, I see the sword. I saw a sword. Yes, no. Okay. Well, I guess I finally get to make a frickin' decision in this damn game. You know, I always hear jokes about games like Dora the Explorer or Blue's Clues or stuff like that. Tell you, like, kids, do you see the sword? Is that what these shows are like? Anyway, I see the sword. Wait. How come I can't? Oh, there we go. Oh, I had a choice like this once before. What the hell was it? It was picking, like, if I liked glasses or swimsuits or something. The only time I've ever had a choice of this damn game. Yes. Through the door. I distinctly saw a sword. Yes, it's very obvious. It's right there. If I move from here, I can take it. Well, I don't know about that, but we'll give it a bash. Uh-oh, you disappoint me. Hey! Oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to move. Whoops, did I get a bad? Did I get a game over? I might have to go back and make that last one a no, because I wasn't supposed to move, that's right. Before I could even notice, someone had moved up right behind me. Or maybe I'm going to grab it and save myself. I hadn't felt any presence. It couldn't have been Shogun. I hadn't heard the creaking sound of a wheelchair. Then who... Did I just get a bad end? Reach out and grab the sword! The nightscape of Shibuya Station spun around and around. I fell to the earth. I felt the wind rushing over me. The ground was closing in. I could hear screams, or rather cheers, all around me. Is this it? Is this how it ends? Is this how I die? Oh, God, no. Not like this, 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 not like this. Welp. You have chosen poorly. Oh, yeah, all right. Fine, be like that. Okay, I'm going to make that last one a no, because I feel like I may have mispicked that one. Let's fast forward and try that again. Okay, it spit us right back here, which is convenient. I saw a sword. Okay, I distinctly saw a sword. These are 100% confirmed. Now, if I move from here, I can take it. No, no, no. Don't move. Bad Psy'Min should have remembered what Shogun said. I can see the sword from other places than here. Uh-oh. I mean, I can't move to find out. I'm going to say no. It's not actually a sword. I disagree with that. Do I disappoint you? Fuck! Try it again. This is the multiple choice quiz from hell. Okay. Yes. Following the hints, I distinctly see a sword. It's blue. It's over there. It's thin. Do not move. I can see the sword from places other than here. No for now. It's not actually a sword. Well, I mean, it's a delusionary sword, but a sword is a sword. Oh! I'd seen it! Yes! That thing! Right there! Within the night landscape, blurred by my teary eyes, amidst the scenery in which light was warped by my welling tears, I'd found a spot that looked just like a sword. Just like what Ayase had said. I hadn't noticed it at first, but when I'd ever so slightly altered my perspective, it was there before I knew it. Even if it had just been a coincidence, I was more than happy with it. The more I thought of it as a sword, the more defined it became, and over time it was becoming more and more real. It was slowly turning into a definite part of the scenery. It has to be at perspective, because if it's that size up against the building, it's literally like 5 stories tall. And eventually, even its contours became clearly distinguishable. You found it, didn't you? Likely having noticed my change in demeanor, Shogun immediately spoke to me. Now, I want to reach out your hand and cut the sword free. That seems like a word is missing. Now I want to reach out your hand. You don't even have to think very hard about it. You can do this. No, you can't, and you know it. You can't listen to him, Taki. If you do that, you're gonna fall. And if you fall, you'll die. We know, we've done it twice. I looked down. I saw the crowd filled with countless people. The ambulance still had yet to arrive, just like back at noon. The response time was far, far too slow. Not that it was surprising, it was just how demanding the earthquake this morning had truly been. I can't cut it free, how could I? Don't let your preconceptions restrict you. If you think that you can't do it before you even try, you won't be able to. Throw common sense to the wind and simply see things as they are. Power dwells within you, and the world will respond to that power, just as it did with that flower bed. Could I really do that? If I just reached out, would that sword become mine? If so, then I should at least give it a try. Ayase had said that my D-sword would bring me salvation. Maybe those words were referring to exactly what was happening now. I would grasp the sword, complete the quest, bring Nanami home safe and sound, and have Shogun leave me alone forever. Oh boy, you are an optimistic one. And then I would return to my peaceful life that I've been living up until now, but with a cool sword. Do you really think it'll be that easy? Do you really think Shogun will let you just go like that? When the guy's a serial killer who's already slaughtered 10 people? Even Shogun wouldn't make me do the impossible. I could do it. He wouldn't tell me to do it if I wasn't capable of it. He just wants to kill you, Taki. Did you forget about the group dive video? Shogun's already made 5 folks fall to their death without even touching them, remember? I'm sorry, Saratam, but I'm already reaching for my salvation. Oh god, we've abandoned our waifu. The crowd below started rumbling. My every move was being monitored by the thousands of people packed in front of the station. And it wasn't just them. I was also being watched by tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people all over Japan, watching live on TV. I started feeling nauseous. The extreme pressure imposed by such a large number of people made my heart feel like it explode at any second. Boy, the other girls with D-swords are going to have some questions about this when they see this on the evening news. Tomorrow's going to be fun. No, just forget about them. If I stay focused on them, I'd be too nervous to even lift a finger. I need to focus only on the sword. Being as careful to maintain my footing as possible, I reached my hand out. I tried to aim directly at the sword, letting my intuition do the rest. I felt nothing. The wind rushed toward me relentlessly. On top of that, the direction it was coming from was inconsistent. One second it was blowing at me from the front, the next it pushed me from the side. I clung to the acrylic plate in an attempt to support myself, but it was too slippery to bring me anything more than emotional support. If I let my guard down even slightly, I'd get blown off. Even so, I was still trying desperately to grab the sword, but no matter how hard I tried, I didn't succeed. I can't do it! Because that's not a goddamn real sword! Tears welled up once more. My vision blurred, and what had once appeared to be an object similar to a sword began to lose its shape. Uh-oh. I quickly wiped my tears away. I had the feeling that once I lost sight of it, it wouldn't appear ever again. In that case, all you need to do is reach out farther. Fuck you! You don't know how this feels. I bit my lip to hold back the tears, leaning forward more than I ever had before, and fished around in the open air with my hand. But I still couldn't grasp the sword. More. If I fell from here... Trust me, we've done it twice. I looked down once again. I was higher than I thought I was. I felt dizzy, so I pulled back and clinged to the acrylic plate once more. What are you doing? Grab your sword. Quickly now. If you don't, you won't see Nanami-chan again for a very long time. I shouldn't have looked down. I couldn't stop shaking. I thought I was going to slip because of it. I was so unbelievably afraid. I can't do it. Please, just let me go. Please, you underestimate my power. I don't plan to cave to some childish tantrum. Grasp your D-sword. If you can't, your sister will die, and you will soon follow. That is all there is to it. Oh god, I don't want to die. I don't want to die! I had no choice but to try again. I leaned out through the hole that extended my arm. I could still see the sword over there. I tried again and again, but of course nothing happened. It felt like I could reach it, but for some reason I just couldn't do it. I leaned out even farther. I stretched my hand out as far as I could, reaching out with my entire body to try and grasp the sword. I even straightened out my fingertips. And then I slowly closed my hand. But just like every time before, I felt nothing. I can't reach it! It was impossible, just like Saratan had told me it was. There had never been a way for me to grasp that translucent sword. Perspective had made it look normal size, but when I actually thought about it, I realized how enormous it actually was. Yeah, literally. It wasn't a size a human could realistically carry. If you grab that sword, the quest will be complete. This is literally just a quest to get a sword. Like, what is Shogun's aim here? But I'll fall, I can't reach it. Are you willing to let Nanami-chan die? This is terrible motivation, my guy. You're almost as bad as Sarah. Help! Just let me go already! I don't want to die! Think about what happened at noon today. With the powers you have within you, even if you fall, the only thing you'll need to do is create another flower bed. Oh, trust me, it doesn't work. You may fall, but you won't die. No, no, no! Beg to differ, good sir. You need to watch my Let's Play. Are you sure you can do it? Right then, Saratan's snarky whisper reached my ear. Am I sure I can do it? Do what? If you fall from here, it'll take you less than 3 seconds to hit the ground. So in that time, you'll have to make another flower bed appear, using with the power at your will. Are you sure you can do something so hard, Taki? You haven't ever used your power on purpose before. Ain't I right? Again, world's worst Green Lantern. Okay, we're just going to go with the flow here. That was true, and even if I did have powers, I had no idea how to use them. So let's just run away, okay? You're doing good, Taki. But anything more is just too much for you. You kinda suck. You don't want to die, right? But Nanami. Whatever happens, it's your bratty little sister we're talking about here. Wait. Oh, okay. Even if you try as hard as you can to save her, do you really think she'll be grateful for it? Saratan's words got straight to the point, and it caught me off guard. It was true that even if I saved her life, Nanami would probably say something like, "Jerk! What do I care if you save me? It's your fault that I got into this mess in the first place, you big jerk." She wouldn't even thank me. Instead, she'd insult me. I'd have to bear living with a family that would despise me for the rest of my life. At the end of the day, no matter what I could say about her, Nanami was still just some 3D little sister. She didn't make me moe over her, and she didn't have the pure heart of a 2D character. She was always looking down on me, and she secretly, no, very not secretly, made fun of me whenever she could. Whatever happened to my bratty bitch of a sister was none of my business. Saratan was one thing, but my shit-tier little sister wasn't worth betting my life on. But you get a cool sword. Taki, just think about yourself right now, okay? I don't want to see you dead, Taki. I just want to talk with you inside your head. Just the two of us, forever and always. Same. I also felt the most comfortable when talking to Saratan. I didn't give a shit about Nanami. But sword. Did I goof on that delusion? I don't want to die. I don't want to feel pain. I don't want to be dead. I don't want to disappear. Whatever happens to Nanami doesn't affect me. I muttered all that to myself. That was my way of trying to make it sound convincing. The one I should trust, it wasn't Shogun, it was Saratan. I don't know. Kind of feels like it's the other way around right now. That sword, it only looked like a sword. It wasn't a real one. It was just some weird reflection or optical illusion or something. Uh-oh. You got it. Come on, you ready to head home? Once we get home, I'll let you look at my panties and fantasize about all sorts of sexy stuff with me. Okay, I'll go home. Maybe I actually have to pick a red green for once. I'll go home, and then I'll fat my heart's content to you, Saratan. Sounds fun! I'll strike tons of dirty poses for you, Taki. Okay, what's Shogun's reaction to this beat gonna be? He's just sitting in the back listening to this conversation, just like, what the fuck? I slowly withdrew my outstretched hand. That alone made me feel much more at ease. I took Saratan out of my chest pocket and gazed at her smile. As long as I had her forgiveness, I didn't need anything else. I sniffled, sucking up the snot that had been dripping from my nose. I then turned around and started walking towards Shogun. Oh, he's not going to like that. Who gave you permission to move from that spot? You still haven't completed the quest. I'm not a hero. And I'm not anything like this. I'm not anything like one. I'm a weak, pathetic, useless sack of shit. An otaku freak who can't even save his only sister. So don't expect anything from me. Don't look at me. Just leave me alone. If that's your decision, then I will kill Nanami-chan. Whatever. She's already dead anyway. She was already dead. Nanami had been brutally murdered by Shogun. Everyone would report on it starting tomorrow, treating it as the 6th New Gen incident. It saddened me, but there was nothing I could do about it. Bad end, Psy'Min? Wait! A second bad end for the video? Or? Oh! Oh, hello. We're still going. Or is this going to be the 6th incident? Am I just carrying on with the bad end right now? Big bro. Big bro. Boy, she has lost a lot of blood. I heard the sound of dripping water. No, it wasn't water. It was blood. Nanami's blood. She's got none left. Look at this puddle. Dark red blood dripped from the wrist where her hand had been severed. Why didn't you come save me? Big bro. No, you don't understand. I had to go fap. You're the worst thing that ever happened to me. Okay, is he gonna... yeah, he's gonna turn around. Okay. I wasn't certain we were going for a bad ending. I thought this was a fake out, and it might be. I screamed my guts out. How dare you, 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 how dare you! The world turned crimson. My anger, my sadness, and my shame were ripping my head apart. My thoughts were a chaotic mess. Without any rhyme or reason, I charged towards Shogun. I made to grab him within his hiding place in the shadows. Is he going to be someone different? But I didn't get the physical response I'd expected. He just went sailing off the other side of the building. I collapsed, along with the wheelchair. Oh, he's not even there. That's why he's got a voice synthesizer. He's just got a little speaker box sitting in the middle of his wheelchair. I must have hurt my elbow, as pain was shooting through it. Grimacing, I searched for the person who should have been sitting on the wheelchair. At my feet, a head tumbled across the ground. Oh dear. Terrified, I slowly reached out my hand, and what I felt was extremely hard. Rather than a freshly severed head, it was very clearly a helmet. What? A pitch-black helmet. Darth Spider? What? Was this where the speaker is set? Darth Spider. It's a Darth Vader helmet. Oh! I finished Chapter 6. We're going. Chapter 7, Psychopath. Psychopath, good name for a lot right now. I guess we're still moving toward an ending of some kind. We know where our sword is. I guess we can just go get it whenever we feel like it now, right? But Nanami, well, I guess she's pooched. But it is the end of the episode. What's going to happen from here? Where are we even going? Who are we right now? Are we headed for another ending? Are we headed for an actual neutral ending? Did I lock in a bad ending? What's going on? Why does Shogun want us to have a sword? What's going to happen next? I guess you're going to have to find out next time. Because we are wrapping up. Take care. Things are, yeah. Things are where they are, and they don't seem to be backing off. I don't even know what to say about what's happening right now. You saw the episode. You're in the same place I am. But I will see you guys next time for whatever is next. Take care. Have a great week. I know you will, and let's hold out hopes for little Nanami, annoying bitch that she is. See you guys next time.